Hey guys, MCU Clark here with another figure review. Next up is the Hasbro Marvel Legends series Toybiz Marvel Legends Series 1 20th anniversary of Marvel Legends. As far as we know, this is the final figure in the 20th anniversary line because Series 1 consisted of Iron Man, Hulk, Captain America, and Toad. And that Toad was kind of a funny story. It was kind of a 5-inch not really a super articulated figure. I don't have it, so you won't see a comparison in this video, unfortunately. But that was just kind of a funny figure that it was kind of left over from before, so then just kind of painted it up, provided a base, and put it in Series 1. But here now we have a fully articulated Toad figure. It has been a full 20 years since a Toad figure has been released. So this one is kind of a big deal in my opinion. But I have it here. So I got mine from ToySnowman.com. So shout out to Amir with Toy Snowman. Check out his YouTube channel too. He always posts some pretty insightful videos that give some kind of background information as far as what's going on behind the scenes being a toy retailer. It's pretty interesting, but I'll have a link in the video description below as well to save 5% off for new customers. So anyone that uses my referral link, if you are a new customer, you will get a 5% off coupon in your Frost reward section. That is pretty cool. Link in the video description below. Currently, Toad is showing as sold out on the website, but he is expecting more in soon, so keep an eye on the site for additional pre-orders to go up soon. So check it out, toysnowman.com. But anyway, here we have the same blister card for the 20th anniversary that we saw with Captain America, Hulk, and Iron Man. Looking very cool. We get a couple of accessories, got the base behind there, a couple of frogs or toads, and an additional interchangeable head for Toad. Looking at the back, we get that, looks like probably a 3D render there. It just says, for 20 years, the Marvel Legends series has brought the iconic characters and storylines of the Marvel Universe to fans worldwide. To celebrate the 2002 Toybiz debut release, Marvel Legends proudly presents the 20th anniversary Series 1 featuring Captain America, Iron Man, Hulk, and Toad. Alright, so without further ado, let's get this bad boy out of the blister pack. Okay, and here is Toad out of the package. Toad's actually a pretty cool figure. There's a couple of things. There's actually one thing that really bothers me, and it's fairly big, kind of not, and it's not as bad as I thought until you know, I took the figure out of the package and really looked at it. So Adam kind of you know, shattered the glass for me, and I didn't realize it on the Way live stream this past Friday. But we got a lot of new tooling and stuff for this Toad figure. So new legs, new torso, and all of that, which is awesome because they put in some texture detail by putting some wrinkles in around the knees, around the legs, on the legs, you know, in the torso as well. You get the wrinkles in there. But then we get pins in the arms because these are old arms. These are Superior Spider-Man arms way back when in the Hobgoblin Build-A-Figure wave. So super old. And the thing about it is it sucks because we get pins versus no pins. It just doesn't, you know, it isn't consistent throughout the figure. Not the end of the world because yellow on yellow, not a big deal when the colors match. It still sucks because, you know, they have the updated technology, but the wrinkles, again, in the leg, in the torso, we do not get any wrinkles or anything in the arms. That sucks. It is not as bad as I had thought it would be, having it in hand now, but it is something to note that, you know, sculpted detail, wrinkles all over does not continue in the arm. But we get a nice like wash and shading in there that it's at least appears as though there is some texture to it. So again, it's not as bad as I thought, but it does bother me because, again, all new, old, like old too, not just like reused from something not long ago. I mean, Superior Spider-Man, that was a super old figure, but it's still pretty awesome. The two head sculpts that we get are really cool. Minimal amount of accessories, but I think that's because we got all new tooling, whereas Iron Man, Hulk, and Captain America were all basically reuse. So, you know, here we get a lot of new, so that is pretty cool. But in terms of accessories, not bad. We get this long-ass tongue Toad head sculpt. We get this other portrait head sculpt there that looks really cool and menacing. We get a pair of interchangeable hands. I don't know if these hands are new. I'm sure they're not. They're probably just wall-crawling hands, but those look pretty good. And then we get these two Toad accessories here. You could see. So there's some detail in there. The sculpt of it, you could kind of see. I don't know if those are, you know, the little bumps, the texture of their skin or warts or whatever, I don't know. Black eyes, painted underbody. So we have this kind of brownish one, and we have this greenish one here. And those look pretty good. no complaints. I think they're the same sculpt, you just get two different versions. And then of course we get the Marvel Legends stand, which is great when you want to display these without fear or risk of them falling over. And then the backdrop just slides in there. No comic book, so we get this cardboard backdrop here, which some people don't care for. I think it helps with the display, but other than that, it's not really that big of a deal. But one side is the comic book cover that came with the original Series 1 figure, and then the other side is supposed to kind of replicate the diorama base that the figures came with. So it sucks we don't get anything like that. That's just not the action figure world now, unfortunately. It sucks. It'd be awesome if they came with it, but they don't, so this is supposed to kind of replicate it, which it's not really the same from what I remember of seeing images of that Series 1, but it helps kind of give this idea of where, you know, he is. I don't know if it's like a swamp or something, a little pond, foresty area, and it looks pretty cool. I'm probably going to display it with the comic book cover, to be honest with you, but, you know, it's something nonetheless, and once they have all four together, I think it'll look pretty good. Okay, so here we are, up close look at Toad, and yeah, that head sculpt, he looks wild, right? But god damn, it looks really good. They did a great job on the sculpt of it, looking at the details. He even got some of the wrinkles like in his skin as his mouth, and his facial expression is crazy. The hair's got some color to it. Look at all of that. Looks awesome. The tongue is super long and shiny, and it's bumpy and it's gross looking, but it's awesome. Look how long that thing is. That's just crazy. But yeah, that head sculpt is awesome, and so is the other one. So let's pop that off. Easily pops off. Not tight fit or anything like that. And then here is the tongue in version, and again, he looks kind of crazy. Like, he looks psycho. Now, the original Series 1 Toybiz figure, one thing that I say about Toybiz figures is I think a lot of times they just look dirty. And that Series 1 Toad is probably the dirtiest looking figure there is. Now, they didn't do that for this figure other than, you know, adding in some of the shading and stuff in areas where the wrinkles are in the suit and all throughout. And it all looks really good. They even did it on the back. Almost like a cell shade, but not quite, because it's just in the shading of the wrinkles. But looking at the head sculpt, like the head, it isn't very clean, and that's done on purpose. That's like some of the paint apps that are added on there, and it's really nice. It's a nice touch, definitely. I wish we would have gotten some on the neck there, but you know, for what we got, it came out looking really good. And again, the paint apps on this guy are fantastic. I'm sure there's going to be some out there with QC issues, that kind of thing. That's just bound to happen, but mine came out great. Look at the way he looks. That's just like psycho looking. I love it. Looking at the figure, we get this rubber overlay here. Notice we get the diaphragm cut and the inverted ab crunch, which is awesome. We also have butterfly joints in there, old ass arms, all new other parts of the body and everything like that. Just looks really, really good. And then get that, look at that. We get a drop down hip on this guy as well, so we can get him in all kinds of crazy poses. So that is just, they went almost all out on this figure except for the damn arms. But again, the arms, it's not nearly as bad because they added in the shading of the muscle tone. If they wouldn't have done that, it would have been terrible. But it's not as bad as I thought, but I still would have preferred new arms. But yeah, the rest of the figure looks great. Even that belt looks really good. Yeah, awesome figure. It really impresses me a lot more than I thought it really would. But yeah, that head sculpt is awesome. Now let's see how much he moves, which is quite a bit. Okay, so Toad's articulation. So he can look down. The head is on a ball disc hinge, so he can look down that much. Oy! I just popped the head off. It scared me a little bit. So you don't want to pull it too back, because then the hair is going to hit the back, and then it's just going to pop the head off. So he can look up that much, which is good. Full rotation, of course. You get some pivot in there to kind of give some expression and going on. The arms, you can get the shoulders to only go out. Hold on. That's a little stiff. Must be the old shoulder. So you can get the arm to go out that much. I'm going to have to heat up this shoulder or something. There we go. So you can get the arms to go out that much. You get a full rotation in there. This collar piece is rubbery enough that it doesn't really get in the way. The butterfly, so you can get the arm to go back a little bit. Coming forward, let's see if we can get that crossbody. A little bit. Upper bicep swivel in there on these old arms. Double jointed elbow with the big ass pins on that side, smaller pins on this side. But that bend works out. Wrists swivel and they do hinge. Let me pop one of these off, and then you could always switch out the hands like so. And then these wrist pieces here, they're just floating pieces. You can kind of move them around as needed. We have the diaphragm cut at the top. So he can pivot to his left that much. He can pivot to his right that much, which is good. Going back on that diaphragm is a little bit. Coming forward on that diaphragm is a little bit. But with the inverted ab crunch, you can go back total that much. Coming forward, you can go that much, which is not bad. One thing I want to point out, the yellows on this are kind of different, and I know this is probably going to drive some people crazy. Now the shading of it kind of helps blend in, but the issue is this portion here, as you can see, is actually the purple color, and then they painted the yellow over it. So there was no way they were going to get a paint over one color to match the torso. That kind of sucks. Luckily it's pretty minimal, as it's just these two sections here on his side, and it won't be too much. But with that, there is no waist swivel. You actually get the diaphragm swivel there. Usually that's what happens when you get the inverted ab crunch. Legs go out that far apart. He can kick forward that far without the drop down. See, with the drop down, you can get the leg to go up quite a bit more, which is great. Goes back a little bit. You get upper thigh cut in there. Solid double jointed knee that is pinless, which is awesome because we didn't get that on the elbows. Let's see if there's no calf swivel in there at all. So you can see these pieces here at his ankles are floating around too. And then they just paint up kind of some of that purple blue for the boot, but foot hinges down, hinge up quite a bit, ankle pivot, peg holes at the bottom of the feet. So Toad moves around quite a bit, which is awesome. But again, it's, you know, older arm still, but he moves around really nicely. Okay, so here are all 4 figures in the Marvel Legends Series 1 Toybiz 20th anniversary line. We have Iron Man, Captain America, Toad, and Hulk. While Iron Man, Captain America, and Hulk had minimal new tooling and updates, new pieces and things like that, Toad is almost all new, minus the arms. You know, Iron Man only had a new torso. Hulk only had new head sculpts. I think Iron Man may have had a new head. Captain America had some new heads. But Toad, you know, it's kind of all new. We haven't had a Toad figure in 20 years. Not since the Series 1 Toybiz Marvel Legends that this is, you know, playing homage to, or a retro throwback to. Which is wild. You know, there's always going to be Iron Man, Captain America, and Hulk figures. But Toad, that's a special one. And the fact that we get this crazy articulation, drop down hips, that's nuts. We only get that in a handful of figures. So a lot of great things with these ones. I think it's one to definitely pick up. Whether you keep retro carded figures, the blister packs, on card, hang on the wall, which I do because I have a second one that's up there. Or open them up and enjoy like this and have a display. Like I have a separate shelf just for these 4. And I think it's going to look awesome seeing them all together. So I'm really excited about that. But what you guys let me know what you think of these 20th anniversary Series 1 retro Marvel Legends figures. But let's move on into some Brotherhood of Evil Mutants. Okay, so for some size comparisons here, we have Toad next to Magneto. That is from the Brotherhood of Evil Mutants, the Family Matters 3-pack is what they called it. The Family Matters 3-pack. Amazon exclusive. And then we have the Spider-Man from the Renew Your Vows 2-pack with Spinneret, Mary Jane. As you can see, Toad is shorter than both of them. He is a smaller figure, but he's not like tiny or anything like that. But he's definitely shorter than most. Okay, and here I'll leave you with this. I'm trying to recreate kind of the comic cover to X-Force number 5 that has the new Brotherhood, or Brotherhood Reborn. The only thing missing would be Fantasia, but here we have Blob, Sauron, Pyro, and Toad. And this Toad can get into some awesome crouching poses and things like this, so it's really cool what this figure can do, and I'm excited. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the review. Hopefully you will enjoy the figure. You guys let me know in the comments below. Are you picking it up? Are you keeping it on card? Are you opening that bad boy up? Let me know in the comments below. Just so you guys know, also hit that join button to join the MCU Collective. I have started channel membership here if you're interested in that. I'm hoping to do some live streams, some exclusive video and exclusive content, things like that. Please share any ideas that you may have as well. If you guys enjoyed this video, please hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already done so, and as always, thank you for watching. And again, shout out to Snowman.com for sending this out. New customers, when you use my referral link and create an account, you get a 5% off coupon in your Frost reward. So Snowman.com, link in the video description below. Thanks, guys.